How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Coach Wood, and we are back, you guys, for another amazing episode of content. I'm pumped up today. This is Thursday, depending on when you see this, so that means we got a locker room show tonight, and I'm always pumped up for the locker room show, baby. So thank you for joining us. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the channel. This is the Before You Go Pro channel. If you can't tell already, this is a football channel, you guys, but this is specifically meant for the young athletes that are really in the game, the football families that are out there willing and dealing, trying to make it happen in the industry, the coaches that are working their tail off, and then of course you, the football fans that want to learn more about this industry, how things work, key topics, strategies, the whole deal. That's what goes down on the Before You Go Pro channel, you guys. So welcome once again. Please consider hitting that subscribe button if you do like the content that we share with you, so that you're notified whenever we release new content with Before You Go Pro. Also, we've got some amazing resources, you guys. We've got some amazing resources, some education for you young football players and you families out there down in the description box. So check out the description box. That book right there that you see behind me, down in the description box, baby. So very, very excited about today's content, you guys, because many times we're bringing in things that I'm hearing out in the industry, or maybe even sometimes things that I went through as a player, things that I learned throughout my 20 years on a football field that we want to bring to you guys, so that maybe you don't make some of the mistakes that Coach Wood made, right? So today is one of those days, baby, one of those days, and not necessarily a mistake. Not necessarily a mistake, you guys, but more so something that would have helped me stay calm. Something that would have helped maybe minimize my emotions during certain times of my career. Because let's be frank, you guys, we're putting in so much time, so much effort, literal blood, sweat, and tears into our football careers that it gets emotional. You know, we take it personal, you guys. And also, it's not just us. Family members, friends, they take it personal when things aren't going well for us, or maybe when we're facing politics throughout our career. You know, it feels like it's personal, you guys. And a lot of times it's not, but I get it. I get it. I've been there myself. It feels personal. So one of the things that we wanted to bring into the huddle today was something to help you guys, something to help you keep things even keeled and keep everything focused and in line as you climb through the ladder of football success in the industry, you guys. And one thing that I didn't learn until after my career, I didn't actually learn it until I was in business. Now, I had practiced it before. But I didn't really realize what it was, and I hadn't heard somebody else verbalize it until I got done with football. And it would have helped me out so much to keep this mindset. And I want you young football players to keep this mindset as you go through this competitive industry. It is always process over pride. Process over pride. What is process over pride, Coach Wood? Process over pride, you guys, means that you're keeping the long-term vision intact. You realize that there's a process to get what you want, that there's some patience that you might have to exude to get what you want, that there is steps, step by step, to get what you want. The beautiful thing, you guys, about process over pride, and what we mean by pride, is that you're not going to get overly emotional about the outcome. You're not going to get overly emotional about the result, because the result, a lot of times, you guys, may be out of your control in the football entertainment industry, especially at the highest level. You might have done amazing during training camp. But right before the 53-man roster was decided upon, they had a rash of injuries on the offensive line, a rash of injuries on the defensive line, and they said, you know what? We're going to keep one less defensive back. We're going to keep one less wide receiver, and we're going to bring in extra O linemen and D linemen because we're bringing in people we're not sure about. We want to have it stockpiled, those rooms. So we're bringing in extra offensive linemen, extra defensive linemen, and we're minimizing how many DBs we bring in. And guess what? You're getting cut. You're getting cut because you were the rookie right on the end. You had a great camp. Nothing wrong that you did. You were at practice early. You stayed late, but you're getting cut. It was out of your control. And there's going to be a lot of things in the football entertainment industry. Once again, the higher you go, that may be out of your control. No different than some of these other very competitive industries. You could be ready to be the man on the stock market, and your first day out, the stock market crashes. Out of your control. So what you have to keep in mind is that there's seasons. And with seasons, things come back around. Just like we're loving summer, everything's hot. I got my shorts on, and then summer goes away for fall and winter. And then you're hoping for summer to come back. Well, it's the same thing with your career. There may be times where things are hot. There may be times where you're working your tail off, and you're wondering, where is the return? I've been working my tail off. I see my teammate get his scholarship offer already. Where's mine? And there's times like that. But you can stay even keeled. You can stay pumped up. You can keep your momentum, your mojo, your energy, as long as you realize that, hey, all I'm going to do is focus on what I can control. And what I can control is my process. I can control my process to get the win. I can control my process to have a great game. I can control the process to be in line for the scholarship offer. That's all you can control. So it's process over pride. The pride gets in the way, and then you say, man, I'm not as good as this person, or man, I'm jealous of this person because he got his before me, or why did he get his before me? All of that starts coming into play when you're thinking pride first. Forget pride, because guess what? If Tom Brady can get drafted late, if Kurt Warner, who's a Hall of Famer, is bagging groceries before he really gets his spot, if Aaron Rodgers has to go to junior college, Josh Allen has to go to junior college, then if they have to have their pride diminished, then you can have your pride diminished too at times in your career. You can put your pride on the back burner. The pride is what's going to have you stop your feet. The pride is what's going to have you take your eyes off of the goal, off of the diamond. The pride. Forget the pride. It's the process. There's times with before you go pro where I really want an athlete to join our program, and the family, for whatever reason, says, no, you know what, we're not going to join. Maybe it's too much money to join before you go pro, and I don't get to work with that athlete. But I know if I stick to the process, another one's coming. Another great student athlete is coming that would be perfect for our program. So I just stick to the process. You don't worry about the results. You don't get too high or too low on the results. That's the flip side of it. Sometimes we get too high on the results and we think we're the best thing since sliced bread. And then guess what? You get humbled. So stick to a winning process. At the end of the day, you guys, that's all you control. You'll get what you want if you stick to a winning process long enough. So that brings us to the question, what's your process? What's the intent on what you're hunting? What do you really want? And then what's the process that you're using to get it? And make sure you're following a process that is downloaded from somebody that knows what they're talking about, somebody that maybe has done what you're trying to do, or maybe has helped many people do what you're trying to do, or both. If it's both, it's really sweet. If you're looking for a football scholarship, both here. I've done what you're trying to do. I've helped others do what you're trying to do. Okay? Now, after you get a process, or after you find somebody that's in line with what you're looking to accomplish, then you get the playbook. You get the blueprint. That's the process. That's the process. Once you know the process of getting what you want, then you just keep your head down, baby, and you focus on that. It's process over pride. We're not going to get prideful about the results, whether they're lower than we thought they'd be, or they're higher than we thought they'd be. We're not going to get prideful about the results, because we can get humbled, or things can change and we can shoot to the top. So we just keep working our process, baby. Keep working the process. This is key for all of you young football players to remember, because it's competitive. And there's going to be times where you're on top, and there's going to be times where you're not. But as long as you're focused on your process, Tom Brady may throw 3 interceptions in a game, and somebody will be like, oh man, he sucked today. Well, he's not worried about just that day. He's working a process that when you look over the tenure of in the longevity of his career, you're going to say, wow, that process, whatever Tom Brady's process was to be prepared year in, year out, that process made him the best quarterback that ever lived by many, in many people's estimation. That process made him the best quarterback that ever lived. Now, he was down and out when he was at Michigan. They were putting the other people ahead of him when he was at Michigan. He didn't start cream of the crop first round draft pick, but he developed a process that he stuck to for a long enough period of time that it made him the best quarterback, in many people's opinion, that ever lived. And I met Tom Brady when he was a sophomore in high school. My first introduction to Tom Brady and to see how he worked, see his process, was when he was a sophomore in high school, because we were literally in the same league in high school. So keep that in mind. We're not going to get prideful. We're not going to get too high when we're up. We're not going to get too low when we're waiting by the phone for somebody to call. We're going to focus on the process. And then we're going to be very happy when it's all said and done and our season comes around. All right. So young football players, hopefully that finds you well. Once again, process over pride, baby. Process over pride. That will always keep you in a great spot mentally to be in strike mode. In strike mode, and to keep your iron sharp. Process over pride. Remember that. All right. Whether I'm high, whether I'm low, I'm sticking to my process. All right. So Coach Wood here, you guys. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that. Hit the subscribe button. Get after it today, and make sure that you check out the resources in the description box. I'll see you at the top.
Don't watch it.